What's good? What's good?
How
What's
you
good?
doing?
You alright?
How you doing? It's Amel Amin and I'm here in Hussein's house making myself at home. It's been lovely, it's been great. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, comment, interact. This guy's the truth. Hussein's house. Peace.
You're saying it reminds you of your family's house.
Yeah, back in the day in Kingsbury. Yeah. It's
What, back in their kidulthood days?
This home is lovely. No, way before that. I'm talking about, how old am I now? So, a good 15 years ago, back in the day.
So when you was...
When I was 14.
Yeah. 29 now.
29 years
We was
old.
just saying how it's really weird how I was just sitting here and watching TV. Well, not here. I was watching Maze Runner. And now I'm sitting next to you.
That's the talents of you, mate.
The law of attraction.
That's the law of attraction, 1 to 13 and everything in one.
Oh, that's what Purcell's comment was yesterday. 1 to 13, the laws of attraction.
No, 1 to 13 is something I say.
Oh, is it?
And Purcell, you talking about the young man from...
Mandem on the Wall.
Yeah, I met him in Los Angeles, actually.
Yeah.
1 to 13 is something I say, and it's not the law of attraction.
Okay, do you want to enlighten me what it is?
I will not enlighten you, no.
You're shady, you know.
It will happen over time.
It will.
Let's when we both get older and grow. Well, you've got a beard already. Get grey in your hairs, and I put on a bit more, weight. And I'm looking, and you're looking fat. We've got kids running around. I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Say nothing.
Yeah.
I'll wait patiently. A mill.
Why do people say nothing? What does that mean?
Say nothing. I don't know. It's like a real life full stop.
I get how you need to do it. I get how it's contextualized, but what does that mean?
It's just like a real life full stop.
A real life full stop.
Like say nothing.
Say nothing.
Nothing said. Do you get it? It's a bit dead now that you highlighted it.
I like to do that.
No, we have a lot to talk about. An actual lot to talk about. First thing, you must be bored. Are you bored talking about kidulthood yet?
I watched Kidulthood. I was on Sense8 set.
And Sense8 is a new project
with the Wachowskis, yeah, and I was there for hours and hours, and I decided to watch Kidulthood and Adulthood back to back on my iPad, and I think Kidulthood it stands up so well, even more so than Adulthood. Adulthood's a great film, and Noel did he did great in making it a spectacle. Yeah. But Kidulthood is quintessentially a great British film in a sense of the way it's strung together, the heart of the story, the love story, which Hoods and Noel did really well, and also everyone was hungry, you know. Yeah. There's something about when you're doing your first project, or when rappers are doing their first album, when people are doing their first painting or first anything. There's something special about that, and so I'm never bored of it. I think it's done a lot for me over the years in terms of put me in certain positions and made me known to certain people, and yeah. I'll never get bored of talking about it. So if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it.
No, I want to talk about Maze Runner. Because you died in the Maze Runner.
Did I?
Well, we don't actually know what happened to you. What was the thing called that killed you? That grabbed you from the heart? Wait, I know what it was called.
You said killed.
Glader. No, it wasn't a Glader.
Griever.
Griever, that's it.
A Griever grabbed Albie.
From the heart.
From the heart and drew him out.
But we never knew what happened to you.
Exactly, so how can you just assume he's dead?
Because I was gonna
go. How you gonna do me like that?
I was gonna do you like, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna go in the theory of Trife died in Kidulthood, Albie died in Maze Runner. Does that mean? Do you ever feel a certain way when you're watching the sequel that you're not a part of it, or do you still feel a part of it?
I'm definitely still a part of it. I felt a way in certain senses, as in you want to carry on with your friends. Do you get what I'm saying?
Because of all the behind the scenes stuff, like all the jokes you lot must have been having. Yeah,
you want to carry on with your friends, and but often I've played the role of someone who's sacrificed. He sacrificed for the greater good. He sacrificed for the message of the movie. The phoenix in mythology. When he dies and ascends to something else. He either ascends literally, or he ascends to a greater ideology, or dies for a movement to happen. And because he's black, he has to die.
So does that mean that you could potentially be in the Maze Runner too?
I'm not in Scorched Trials, no, but there is a number 3 and other stuff, and we've not seen him die.
Good
FYI.
point. Yeah, it's an assumption. I made an assumption. I should never assume things.
Also, you don't. There's also Will Poulter.
Yep.
Who gets a
shot at
spear thrown at him. And there's also
that scene was emotional though when the kid died. I felt that a lot.
Yeah, that's what I love about.
Was you there when they were filming that?
No, I wasn't. But that's what I love about the film is it sacrifices no one's pleasantries. It's not there just to make, you know, it shows a lot of it shows the reality of situations, or the reality of that world anyway.
Yeah.
I love the
In the Glade.
Yeah. It's a great film. It's a great film. It's a great mythology story, and for me it was a childhood dream come true because I loved Hook.
Yeah.
Remember the Hook with Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams?
Yeah.
And
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and I loved Hook, and I loved the magical world of the Lost Boys, and you know, those kind of fantastic worlds. And so for me to be essentially Rufio, you know, leading that world, I loved it. I loved it, and Wes Ball, the director, and the producers, and that they created this world. We actually lived in a real life world. You know, the walls were built, and the Glade was real. And my favorite scene in the movie is the bonfire scene.
When you're wrestling.
Yeah, when we get the bonfire, we say light them up. That's my favorite. That's my favorite scene in the movie, man. It's just I love it.
Was you sad when they pulled all the set down?
No.
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 I would be. It must have felt like you was leaving school.
There is always leaving school feeling when you're connected to people in the way that you are, and I love the cast of the Maze Runner, man. We had a good time, man. It was such a special time in my life. It was last year, but such a special time, and I associate that with doing kidulthood.
Yeah.
And what it felt like working with Femi, Noel, and Adam, and doing the bill with John Bowler, who played Roger, and Richie Campbell, who played my cousin. You know, there's certain moments you get with certain actors, and you're sharing. It just happens, and you're sharing such a good time.
Yeah.
And I look back at that with a lot of fondness.
You started acting when you was really young, didn't you? From the age of 6. Now, when you're on set and you see like a new actor come on, who it could be their first time on set, do you ever spot things that you're thinking inside your head? No, bro, don't do this. You could mess up, or no, don't. You know what I'm saying? So, what would your do's and don'ts be for like a new actor, first time? Because there's no rule book, but there's always myths of don't talk too much or don't be too helpful. Just do your bit and go home. No one ever tells you the in-betweens.
It's a good question. It's a good question, see.
Of course.
He's good in it. What would I say is the do's and don'ts of being on set? I mean, first of all, professional etiquette is number one. You know, turn up early.
Well, like, turn up.
Yeah.
Turn up.
Turn down for what? I would say
on time.
Turn up early.
Yeah.
That's a must. You know, there's so many people that are there before you, and leading into that, you have to understand that filmmaking, you know, the thing that can happen to certain actors is, especially if you're a lead actor in something and you're young and a lot of attention's on you, you forget that filmmaking is a team sport. It's a team effort. You can be there with all your lines, and the camera guy, Mr. Cameraman here, decides to put the camera down. There's no more show. You know, there's people that's put their money into it. There's, you know, the grip guy making sure this happened. The lighting, like filmmaking is such a group effort that. Do you want to pick that up?
No.
Don't pretend that you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Don't pretend that you didn't drop it.
So stressful.
But does those work? Let me. That's too light for me. But yeah, it's such a filmmaking is such a group effort that I think it's important to always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
You know, and it settles you and humbles you. You know.
I'm happy you said that, because you don't strike me somebody, as I was talking about earlier, that gets gassed quite easily. And gas, when I say gas, I mean,
I know what gas means.
Yeah, but I'm just saying for the people that don't know. Overexcited. Overexcited, yeah. So like when you're on set with somebody like Dylan O'Brien and like people like Thomas Sangster. Where am I going with this?
Do I get excited about those guys?
No. I'm just saying, when people, let's not say you. Say for example, say it was a new actor coming onto set with bigger actors that they have never worked with before in your career, people like Oprah, and you are excited and you are gassed and you do want to get a follow back on Twitter and Instagram and all things like that, what would your advice be?
Forget Twitter and Instagram, man. They've got nothing to do with your job.
Yeah.
They've got nothing to do with your job, you know. I don't have a follow, nor have I ever looked for a follow from Oprah. You know.
You just do the job and go home.
You do the job, you do the best work you can do, and in time, whether it be Oprah, it doesn't matter if she notices your work or not. I think the best thing you can do for the film is show up with a sense of integrity and quality about your work. Do it to the best of your ability, and then realize you're a part of this puzzle that's put together by the director. And when you watch it, the best sense you can get is, I'm proud of what I've done.
Yeah.
And other people, whether it's a small moment in The Butler or a big moment in Maze Runner, people, both behind the scenes and people outside that watch the work, they're affected by it, and they see how you are as a person. And I think that's much more integral to your career and much more integral to your art as a person than a follow back from Oprah. You know, I get what that means. You know, people believe, and it's somewhat true, that, you know, if Oprah decides to profile you as a person, you will have attention, like some of the biggest attention in the world.
Yeah.
That's a fact. But for me, that's not the most important thing at all. It's certain, if it ever was, it's certainly not the most important thing now, because if you're not good, you will be found out eventually. If you haven't got substance, you'll be found out eventually. So
they'll clock you. So
for me, it's not about that. Yeah. And what I've noticed as well, and another myth to dispel for people, is probably that on set of something like The Butler, you know, I worked with Forrest, and I respect him immensely as an actor first, and then I got to know him as a person somewhat, and I was like, oh, no, this is an admirable person with a lot of good qualities. And on set, everybody has that feeling of they want this to be good. Do you get what I'm saying? They have that feeling of like, I want this to be good. They have that same nervousness, and it doesn't matter if they're Oprah Winfrey or a Mel Amin or, you know, the lighting guy. You come together for this, and you're like, I want this to be good. I need this to be of quality. I need my work to have contributed to this, to make it good. And all the people that I've met that are real artists, you know, they tend to be very sensitive people who are doing it for a purpose outside of just being on TV, you know. Not everybody, but there's a lot of people that have that, and some of the greatest artists have that. There's a sense of something like a internal importance to them, and when they bring that quality to work, they are going to be nervous. They're going to be, and not jittering, but like, I need to make this good, and that's fundamentally what it's about.
Yep.
To me.
And this is going deep. I like the fact that we're going really deep here. We're getting some real substance out. With what we were talking about in the car about what happened in Ferguson, so the R.I.P. Mike Brown, and do you feel like entertainment and the people in entertainment can help make a difference to the situation of the political world?
I think entertainment works hand in hand with the reality that we see. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that entertainment works hand in hand with propelling certain stories, propelling certain perceptions, and so it is the responsibility of people in entertainment to make sure there is a varied story going around, a varied perception. And when it comes, I suppose, to work from people of my cultural background, I would say that it's important that many different stories be told. For example, Kidulthood is a story about young Londoners, you know. What people might say is Black London, but youth in London are all the same these days, you know. We're kind of banded together under this culture, and I think it's damaging to perpetuate Kidulthood 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in its different variations and titles, you know. I think collective stories about a people need to be told through different lenses, and to really, we don't realize often how powerful media is, and how do you know what an Italian American is like? Because you watch The Godfather, or you watch The Sopranos, and you make all these assumptions about who they are based on the films you watch, and you kind of treat them a certain way
because of what we've seen.
Because of what you've seen, or you might an Asian family, East is East, and you're looking at that, and that's not.
But we're lazy thinkers.
We're lazy thinkers, and so it's not an exact. It's nothing's going to be exacting anyway, but it's not an exact mirror of what these people are like, and I think that's fine. It doesn't need to be. It's one story, but a varied stories need to be told about everybody around the world, and I think that's the way in which media can help with situations like Mike Brown, and they need to figure out a way to educate people through the media with these situations like Mike Brown, because to me it's rearing its head as a continued problem. It can't, I think for me, when things happen in threes, and it's happened more than in threes, but when things happen in threes consistently, it becomes a situation where we have to look at and go, well, what's that? What is that? And why is that happening? And so I think entertainment is a very small part of the puzzle, but also an important part of the puzzle in terms of how you need to re-educate people in how to deal with people. And when it comes to the police force in America and around the world, but especially in America, they're getting a really bad rep right now. And we're going back to the early 90s when groups where NWA were like saying F the police. That's the general perception of people to the police establishment. And being someone, like I worked in the Bill, right? And being someone that worked alongside police in a sense, in terms of getting to know them as individuals. Everybody's an individual, so to brand the police all with this one brush would be immature.
But it happens in all societies, though, with branding.
It happens, but what I'm saying to people, if I can be of any help in this conversation, I'm saying to people, look beyond anybody's casing that is what they look like, how they live their life, and what their job is. Look beyond that, and let's get back to the humanity of everybody, and just understand, like, people's hearts, hopes, and aspirations are quite similar in life. I want to survive, I want to thrive, I want to have a good life for me and my family, those I love. So if we get back to those kind of ideologies, and if media and film can perpetuate that, I think it'd be helpful. Because trust me, like in my research, I've come to understand that film's original intention was propaganda in a sense, and to kind of push a certain way of thinking. And so if you look at that, and of course film has become entertainment, it's light, it's jokes, you get me, all of that stuff, but at the same time it still has those arcs to it. And so we need to use film as one of the small pieces of this very big problem. But I think using film as a talking piece to introduce new ways of thinking to people would be of service to us all, I think, anyway.
Brilliant answer. Where does your knowledge come from? Do you read a lot?
My knowledge, I think my knowledge is, the people I'm surrounded with, the books I read, and just my observation on life. Yeah, man, I've got some great people in my life that think in a certain way and challenge certain ways of thinking. So I'm very blessed to have those people in my life, and also just observation, man. If we just take off the glasses of the lenses of how we want to see life sometimes, and I'm definitely guilty of that. I'm an artist, for God's sake, so I want to construct the world how I see it. It just so happens that right now I've decided to look left and right at a few things and be kind of affected by it. And so, but it's always running through me. But yeah, I don't know. I just observe life and see, and just do my best to become a bit more educated on it. And I'm not talking about school education, like actual education.
Yep. All right, wicked. Well, thank you for coming to Hussein's house.
Wicked.
For tea and onion bhajis. Sensei, your latest project that you're working on at the moment, flying around the world.
Yes.
When's that coming out?
Sensei is out in April, I think. April,
2015.
March. 2015. On Netflix. Netflix. And then I start a film called Dara Ju, which in Nigeria means to be better, with a new filmmaker called Anthony Ona. Play the lead in that film, and it's about a guy he works on Wall Street. He's addicted to uppers that they're taking right now to make sure he works diligently, but it's essentially a father and son story. And this guy, Shay, he's a Nigerian American, so he's born in Nigeria, came to America when he was 10 years old, and he's going through like a cultural identity crisis, and so it's his journey and that. So
nice.
Should be good.
Should be very good. I heard you got some bars as well.
Bars?
Yeah.
That's McKellamine. Subscribe to McKellamine.
Your brother. Yeah. So one of 8 children, aren't you?
One of 8, yeah, brothers and sisters, yeah.
A lot of them.
I come number 3.
Number 3. Whoa. I was about to call you Mikkel for a second.
That's alright. We're one in the same spirit, innit, bro?
Mr. Amin, thank you so much for passing through the house.
Thank you very much,
bro.
Pleasure. It's nice. The tea was brilliant, and big up to your folks for getting the food sorted out.